We have arrived, follow us. Joseph, Ted, welcome to my secret underground research bunker.
Whoa, very nice place you got.
Yeah, pretty snazzy.
I'm guessing this is where you come down when you want to be alone?
Yeah, pretty much. If you were in charge of running such a divided nation, you too would want to have a place to escape for a brief moment of peace every day. Alright then, let's get to discussing our plan. Okay, now we wait for the system to boot up.
So, Sadie, I've now noticed the portraits of pictures on both sides of the computer screen. The purple-haired woman. Is that your mom?
Yes, Joseph, that is my mother.
And I'm gonna guess that the man with the cyan hair color is your dad.
Yeah, that's him. Kinda hard to recognize without the beard, I know. My mom's name was Lexi Gilson. She died when I was little.
Sorry to hear about that, Sadie.
Thank you, Joseph.
What was the cause of her death?
She died from an, at the time, newly discovered, and incurable disease. Nowadays, we know the disease as HIV/AIDS.
HIV/AIDS?
Isn't that the same disease that Professor Frederick Enzo's wife died from?
Professor Frederick Enzo. I haven't heard that name in a very long time.
Wait, have you ever met the professor, Sadie?
No, I never met him. Only knew about him from my dad. Professor Frederick Enzo was commissioned by my father and the Senate to craft the key that could lead the way to unlock the formula to immortality, and to hopefully find a way to bring back those who have died from incurable diseases, or have died unexpectedly. It's unfortunate that the project was branded as a bust from what I've heard. My dad and I were hoping that if the project would have been successful, we could have brought my mom back.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. When this is all done, we should get back to finishing those last few pages of the book to maybe find out why the project was apparently branded as a debacle.
Right, cause this is going against what Felix said about the professor being successful at creating an immortal life form.
Well then again, he mentioned about something that went down on the Eternal that he wanted us to know about the next time we meet him.
Yeah, you're right.
What are you two whispering about?
Oh, it's nothing.
Alright, the system is now online. Let's finally get to the plan now, shall we? Okay. So, our first base of operation is to put a halt to their private cargo shipping trains.
Cargo trains, you say?
That's how the Senate is receiving those biologically engineered life forms, according to Emma.
That man right down there giving orders, who is that?
It's the sleazy, snooty, and barbaric head senator himself, Seth Walker. The one who's carrying out this whole scheme. And don't worry, we will try to avoid encountering him.
Thank goodness. He's scary looking.
Okay, so we need to know where these cargo trains' point of origin is. I assume Emma has gathered that information?
You know I do. I followed the cargo train I snapped photos from. Its path leads from here in DC, all the way to the center of the country in Kansas. The train then brought me to the middle of a dark and expansive forest. What was awaiting me was a large circus tent.
Wait, a large circus tent? In the middle of a dark and expansive forest?
We all know that the purpose of a circus is to be harmless, fun for the whole family entertainment. But, when I went to inspect what goes on inside the tent, nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to discern. Mom, show them.
Right.
What is this?
It is absolute hell.
Joseph, all those people, trapped in the cages, they are all crossed.
What? Why are they all trapped in cages? What kind of place is this? Who would do such an abominable thing?
I'll tell you who's responsible for running such an inhumane and repulsive place. A former circus ringmaster, now turned into a psychotic criminal mastermind. Name, Ozia Varman.
Ah.
You're a worthless pile of crossbreed filth, you know that? Why, you're lucky I haven't killed you yet.
But,
what?
it's just that I'm scared of getting my mark revealed in front of a large crowd. I don't want to die the same way that my daddy did.
Listen, you little miserable whining brat. I've had enough of your ill excuses. You're nothing but excuses, one after another. You're ruining my show with all your constant teary-eyeing. Now get your sorry little ass out there and go and make yourself useful. And if I catch you standing around sobbing again, I'm gonna do something that you're really not gonna like. Got it?
Yes.
You've got 5 minutes to put yourself together. If you're even a second over, then you're as good as dead. Ted, you are the most purposeless person I've ever met. If anyone's life was on the line and you're around, I'd hope they wouldn't depend on you to save it. Worthless, hybridized, dusted. If anyone's life was on the line and you're around, I'd hope they wouldn't depend on you to save it. Worthless, hybridized, dusted. Ted, you are the most purposeless person I've ever met. Ted,
buddy, please, wake up.
We need to call an ambulance, now.
I'm already on it.
Get away from me, not the face.
Crisis averted.
Ted, calm yourself. You just had a bad dream, that's all.
Joseph?
That's right, buddy. It's me. Everything's okay.
Where am I? She ain't gonna get me, is she?
Who, Emma?
I don't bite. Sometimes.
He's talking about Atsia. She's the psychotic ringmaster who verbally and physically abused him when he was a child.
You were a victim of Ozia's circus torture affair, Ted.
Yes. Back when I was really little. I was horribly oppressed for years. She did all sorts of treacherous things to me.
If this isn't a bad coincidence, then I don't know what is.
That settles it then.
Settles what, Joseph?
I'm doing this whole operation by myself.
What? Are you serious?
I am dead serious. I already didn't want to bring you into this, Ted. And now knowing that we're gonna have to cross paths with her, of all people, I now forbid you to come with me.
Joseph, no. Ozia is very dangerous.
She can't be that dangerous. She can't be any worse than Mecha Vengeance now, can she?
Actually, Joseph, you would be wrong and foolish to underestimate someone like Ozia.
What? What do you mean?
If we may continue with the slideshow, then you'll know what you'll truly be up against.
Well, okay. I'm listening.
Alright then, let's continue where we left off. Ozia here is responsible for making sure that the cargo transfers from one end of the nation to the other. The cargo train makes a pit stop in the middle of the country to reload its necessities before making it to the other side, then back to Kansas, then to DC, and then back to Kansas, to then rinse and repeat the process. Our first mission of the operation is to cut out the middle woman, Put a stop to her cargo shipments so that the Senate stops gaining more possession of those biologically engineered life forms.
Okay, so how are we gonna stop her?
Those barrels that the crosses are carrying, that's all diesel. We need to get rid of the diesel that runs the trains, and thanks to Emma, we know where Ozia keeps her stash.
Yep, I left no stone unturned, I'm just that good. Anyways, this right here is a cave that's close to Ozia's tent, it leads to her vast stockpile of diesel fuel. Luckily, I caught the passcode that he typed into the keypad. The passcode is 08262002, and as you can see, there's quite a ton of diesel to dispose of.
Okay, how do we get rid of the diesel in a timely fashion?
Quite simple. Emma's got just what we need to get rid of the diesel.
Yep, we're gonna blow it up to Kingdom Come. Once we invade the inside of the cave, we spread the individual sticks of dynamite all around. We then get far enough away from the cave, so we don't get caught in the blast radius. Obviously, the large sound wave from the explosion will no doubt catch the attention of those who live closest to Ozia's locale. Then she can expect a friendly visit from the superior lease not long after the large explosion.
Oh, I see. By doing it this way, not only halts production on cargo shipments on her end, but simultaneously getting her arrested without anyone in on this conspiracy suspecting that this was your doing, or at least not as likely.
You guessed correctly, Ted.
Well, would you look at that? There is a big brain inside that cute head of yours after all.
Thanks I guess.
Okay, so we know what the plan is and how we need to execute it. But I'm still confused on why I should be so worried about Ozia.
Let's wrap up the slideshow so you can see why she's really dangerous then.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's finally get to what you'll be up against. After the cargo train was all fueled up and ready for its next trip, Emma went to follow Ozia back into her tent, which led her into a room that was full of Ozia's decades worth of riches. But that's not what's important. What is important is what else lies inside this room. A staff of powerful sorcery. This, right here, Joseph, this staff, is the reason why she's so unbelievably dangerous.
No, not her staff. Anything but the staff.
Calm down, buddy. Don't get yourself so worked up again. I don't remember you mentioning to me that Ozia had a powerful staff.
I never really mentioned it before because Ozia only ever used it for drastic measures.
Drastic measures? What drastic measures?
Those who rebel against Ozia, they get the staff. It's said for those who get the staff, it transports them to an alternate dimension where they come face to face with their worst nightmare. And then they die from said nightmare.
So that's what happened to that one crossed who rebelled Ozia's orders and got zapped by the staff.
I thankfully have never got the staff myself. But it was horror, beyond comprehension, whenever I saw someone who did.
Well, it looks like in order to avoid getting zapped, I'll have to stay out of Psycho's eyesight. Is there anything else we need to go over, Sadie?
No, that was the last thing to go over.
Well then, shall we get started on our mission to save the country, and the world?
Yes, let's kick off this whole operation. For our fathers, Joseph.
For our fathers.
For America.
And for the world.
world.
Okay, before we go, I need to stop back at my place so I can pick up my earth gems. I'm sure I'll be needing them since we're not allowed to use battle suits.
No need for you to go out of your way to do, 'cause I got exactly what you will need.
Whoa!
An earth gem.
Yep, that it is. I just so happen to have possession of one as well. You can have it, Joseph, not just for the mission, but for you to keep as well. I trust that this and the other 2 gems you said you have are in good hands.
Thanks, Sadie. I will take very good care of it.
Now that you have your fancy power source, you ready to join with me now, Joseph?
Huh? You're coming with me, Emma?
Well, duh, someone's gotta watch out for you. Since a certain someone here doesn't know how to use his powers, you wouldn't wanna be able to depend on Ted if things get dicey. He'll get the both of you seriously hurt, or killed.
Yeah. I getcha. Sadie, will you make sure that Ted gets back home safely?
Yes, I'll send him back the way he and you got here.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's the least I can do.
Well? Aren't you gonna go?
Yes. I am.
Well, what the hell are you waiting on? Go. Get going and save the world already. I'll just get you and Miss Sassy Mouth killed.